All right, here we are. So, welcome back to day 4 coverage now of the Firecracker tournament. Today we have 5 games on tap, first of which is just started. That was the second pitch of the game here. This is Premier West from Arvada, Colorado, against the Post 22 Expos, the 17 under farm team. For the Hard Hats, don't underestimate them though. They upset Rocky Mountain earlier. That one is going to be thrown to first in time. So out number 1 recorded.
The out for number 2, golfer.
I am a little bit behind because I was building all those thumbnails and schedules and standings for everybody. This is Premier West's final pool play game. Still looking for their first win. Trying to get it out of that 7 versus 8 game, which would be against the Expos. Expos will play whoever finishes 7th in pool play. As Rock Canyon High School from Colorado, who I did lose a few tennis games to. Did win one though. I went 1-3 against them in my career at JV level. They were always pretty good. Always had a relatively high Indian population there, and well, that was some of the best players. Let's just say were Indian in Colorado. Both of my teammates, Pranav Kalia Perumal and Krish Karkar, were um, of Indian descent. All right, Premier West. Looking at a 2-2 count. That's going to be a swing and a miss. So the first K of the day recorded for the Expos.
The out for number 43, Mateo Rousey.
2 outs. Now up comes Mateo Rousey. Sorry to Mateo's folks. I apparently mispronounced the name. I know another Rousey, Paul Rousey, in the Denver area that goes by Rouse. You guys are probably most likely related because when I looked it up online, in the 2014 census, only 464 people in the entire world were named Rousey with that name and spelling. And he lives in Colorado, so odds that you're related are high. That one is going to be hit into shallow right. Falling down, making the grab out there will be the Expo. So a 1-2-3 top of the first. Nobody scores, nobody gets on. No hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors, nobody left on base. And it remains 0-0. The Expos trying to force out a lead now. I still have to write down some of these lineups. Expos, like I said, had a 4-run comeback victory in the bottom of the 7th against Rocky Mountain to pull a big upset. Rocky Mountain was on their way to a 3-1 record and starting to challenge for the championship game. Rocky Mountain now looking at a 2-2 record. They will play against the Pueblo Azteca later, and likely what will be a preview of the 3 versus 4 game there. Hard Hats going to be watching that game intensely because they need the Pueblo Azteca. They need Rocky Mountain to get as many runs as they can because in the event of a next level victory in the 4-4, 4-0, 4 or the next level 3-0, Hard Hats 4-0. Pueblo would improve to 4-1 if they were to beat Rocky Mountain. If Rocky Mountain gets some more wins, that secondary tiebreaker, which is the runs allowed per innings pitched, would become into effect as Pueblo and the Hard Hats have not played one another. Next level doesn't need to worry about it because as long as they beat Missoula, they're in. They already beat Pueblo head-to-head.
Coming to the plate will be number 12, Lars Keeper.
On the mound today here for the Premier West team. We have, who was that? Dylan Huddle, a super senior out of Ralston Valley High School. That's a strike. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Carissa. Shout out to my lovely girlfriend, Carissa. She's putting up with a lot this weekend as I am doing all of these games. Fouled off. So 1-2 still to Lars Kiefer, the center fielder. He's the younger brother of hard hat shortstop Wilson Kiefer, who started out this year with a great year and then had it slightly derailed by a broken hand and a slide into third against Laramie in the Veterans Classic. He is recovering, will be back somewhat soon, so that's something to look forward to. Kiefer was the defensive wizard at the shortstop position for a long time. Don McKnight more than stepped up to the occasion, though, at the shortstop now these last few weeks. Fouled away, so the at-bat remains or continues. Kiefer gets a leadoff walk off of Huddle.
The walk will bring to the plate number 19.
Kiefer, a dangerous base runner. This whole Expos team blazing fast on the bases. I believe I see some sort of summer camp or elementary school filing in here to watch this Expos game, maybe the whole game of the tournament, in the behind a little bit to the left of home plate area. There's about 50 some kids, maybe ages 6 to 9, something in that range. Could even be a 10 or 12-year-old in there, who knows? But they're here to watch some great baseball. Huddle, the 1-0 here to Graydon Juve. Juve closed out the final game, was credited with the win against Rocky Mountain yesterday. He was there, kept it a 4-1 game, allowed 2 runs, I believe. And then, of course, there was that comeback in the bottom of the 7th that earned him the win. Although playing against 17 under competition by and large, that's a strike. So 1-2. By and large, 17 under competition. This team for the Expos is is an incredible 46-7 on the season. Yep, you heard that right. 46-7. Even better than we thought it was yesterday. 46-7. They are doing great. Haven't lost in a while, and they have beaten several varsity squads. They went 4-0 in the Veterans Classic. Made it to the second place game in that tournament against full squads of varsity, including a mercy rule of Huron post 7. Grounded, hard up the middle. Second baseman steps on, makes the play. Double play there. A 4-3 double play is recorded, removes Kiefer from the bases, gets 2 outs now. Braden Juve, the ground out victim, and Max Trujillo, the man stepping on the bag. It'll bring up Ryan Negebauer, younger brother of Lee Negebauer, and shortstop for this Expos team. Negebauer had a great game last time against Rocky Mountain, scoring the game-winning run, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be lined over to the shortstop. Rouse gets it, not in time. It gets away even, so an error. No, we'll call that an infield single. An infield single for Ryan Negebauer. First hit of the day for either team. I'm going to call that a single. I don't really care what the scorer calls it, because that would have been a hard play to make. That brings up Carter Johnson, the RBI leader for this Expos team. The 1-0 pickoff attempt unsuccessful to Negebauer. And it's delivered for a strike by Huddle, so 1-1 now. V will take off. Stolen base is successful for Negebauer. And it is a 2-1 count with Negebauer now in scoring position. He steals what is probably his 40-something bag of the year. So the Expos 1-0 in this tournament. No matter what, they will play the 8-team or the 7-team tomorrow during the championship stuff at whatever time it seems fit, depending on who has the furthest to go home. Oh, everybody's got themselves a popcorn bag. I'm gonna make a quick social post. Bear with me. All right, 2-0 now to Johnson. Huddle delivers. That's grounded over to third. Rouse gets it. Throw to first in time. So that'll end the inning. Nobody scores in the bottom of the first. The game remains tied 0-0 entering the second. So Post 22 Expos record 1 hit. No runs, no earned runs, no errors. 1 man is left aboard. That's Ryan Negebauer. And it's now 0-0. And it'll bring up Drew Hutchison to lead off the top of the second.
Coming to the plate will be number 14, your DH, Nate Hutchison.
Ryan Larson, you got a 1-2-3 inning in the first. Trying to keep that all going. You'll face the cleanup man, Drew Hutchison. That's a breaking ball. It finds the zone. 0-1. That's fouled off, so now an 0-2 count. I'd love to go to a summer camp that brought me to the Hard Hats Fitzgerald Stadium for the Firecracker. That would be fun. A good call on whichever group is doing that. So 1-2. That's going to be lined over to third, handled cleanly. Throw to first in time by Burris, and that'll be out number 1. Bringing up Noah Carrillo. Carrillo, I would argue the best hitter so far this tournament for a very good hitting Premier West team.
The out will bring up number 19, Noah Carrillo.
Popped up. Underneath it, Burris makes the out. So 2 outs now recorded.
The out will bring up number 11, Brennan Gunter.
That'll bring up Brennan Gunter. Gunter had a great game against the Hard Hats in the 10-3 win that the Hard Hats had on the first day of this tournament, so back on Friday. That's fouled off. Oh, shoot. I'll type it again, I guess. Fouled off. That was a hard hit ball, though. 1-2. That's going to be lined into right, coming in for it, and making the grab is the right fielder. That is Carter Johnson. And they keep on, and Ryan Larson now up to 2 innings of blanking the Premier West, blanking Premier West at the plate. So once again, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors. Nobody even reaches base, and it's 0-0 still. The Expos got a little bit of something going in the first. Weren't able to do much with it. This was how it worked yesterday against the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Expos got a certain swagger to them. It doesn't matter if you're good. It doesn't matter if you're 2-1 in this tournament. They know how good they are at hitting. They know how good they are at hitting you. And they have not lost in several weeks. They mercy ruled the senior team for post 320 a couple of days ago. Post 320, the other Rapid City post. And currently ranked higher than us in state rankings, which you have to wonder how that factors in when our junior team mercy rules them. Surely that would mean that the senior team would be better, correct? No? Okay. Because it's just the guys who aren't on the team that beat them. Anyways. Jace Morgan will lead off this inning. So Jace Morgan going to lead off this inning. Strike one delivered there by Huddle. That's going to be skied into right. It'll get down. So a single to start things off by Jace Morgan. He reaches first. Still no outs. Throwback is not going to be in time to get Morgan. That brings up Kane McLeod, who did pretty well yesterday against Rocky Mountain. It's a beautiful day out here, some light cloud cover. We have had no problems with weather in this Hard Hats tournament, except for maybe 30 minutes of rain in day one in between games. Taken up and away. First pitch delivered as a ball. Okay. It's 2-0. Not going to get Morgan. Throw is in time, not in time. So the 3-0 count now to McLeod. Could just add another man to the base paths here with a ball 4. He hits the top of the zone, so not quite yet, at least 3-1. That will be a walk. So that'll bring up Josh Elder, the lefty catcher. So nobody out, 2 men on, both relatively fast. And that'll bring up Morgan. He puts down a bunt. It'll go foul. So 0-1. Okay, 1-1. To Elder. 2 men on. Pulls back a bunt. That's a strike. Edge of the plate. Good pitch there from Huddle. Like I said, Premier West just wanting a win. They've had very, very close games. They lost to Missoula 12-9. They lost to Rocky Mountain 15-13. I've had some trouble on the pitching end. That's a strikeout. So Huddle gets his first of the day. And secures the first out of the inning. That'll bring up McCoy Rippentrop. He had a brief stint on the Hard Hats in the middle of this year. The same day Aiden Roberts got promoted. And Rippentrop started out the game. That is put down, foul. It was a good bunt, but a little bit of rolling didn't help him any, and it went foul. So 0-1 now for Rippentrop. A sac bunt would put both runners in scoring position. Foul again, so 0-2. Pulls back. 1-2. That was a close one on Morgan. Sorry, that's McLeod over at first. Rippentrop still showing bunt in this, even though a bunt foul is a strike 3. He does so strike 3, that'll be a strikeout on the foul bunt. First time we've seen that this tourney. And that makes back-to-back strikeouts now for Dylan Huddle. He's done a good job keeping the Expos scoreless, considering the last 2 games where Premier went down 10-0, followed by and then went down 7-0 in their 2 games and had to make big offensive comebacks. The fact that they're on the verge of blanking the Expos in the first 2 innings is a big sign of improvement. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 delivered there to the 9-hole hitter and third baseman Hadley Burris. So 1 strike away. He's struck out 2 in a row. We'll see if Huddle can do it again. The 0-2 is taken high. Both the runners take off. Throw just managed. Rousey jumps way up in the air to make that grab. Able to save an error on the catcher. And that'll be a stolen base. A double steal for McLeod and Morgan. 2 men in scoring position. 1-2 count. That's a strike 3 over the middle. Huddle strikes out the side. He gets out of trouble, and nobody comes across in the bottom of the second. So, top of the third now. Expos are going to try to protect this 0-0 tie. Great pitching so far from Dylan Huddle. He allows none. He does in that inning. He gets 3 strikeouts. He allows 1 hit. No runs, no earned runs. There were no errors on the defense. Very close, though, if Rousey doesn't jump way up in the air and make that grab. And 2 men are left aboard, both in scoring position. It remains 0-0. Big signs of improvement here for Premier, limiting the run or shutting out the Expos in the first 2 innings.
Coming to the plate will be your second baseman, Max Cerullo.
Max Trujillo now up. He is 1 for 9 in this tourney. Fouls 1. Currently, Larson not allowed a base runner at all. He's faced the order and retired them in order. Bunt shown, that's a strike. Definitely, it hits the upper part of the zone there. 0-2. Taken off, so 1-2 now. Taken away, so 2-2 now. To Trujillo. Trujillo is, like I said, he's 1 for 9 in this tourney. He has a single and is struck out 3 times. He has also been hit by a pitch. That's a foul ball. Count runs full. So, full count, 3-2. Off of the plate, Larson issues his first base runner aboard as Max Trujillo gets a walk. That's Trujillo's first formal walk of the tourney.
Coming to the plate, number 13,
Dmitry Mesnikow not going to come up. He's playing short. He was a reliever for 3 innings last game. Nearly got the win. Going for second is the runner. Not in time. So stolen base there by Trujillo. His first steal of the tourney. His brother has a few. Toby's got 3. So Mesnikow takes strike 1. Man goes to second. Still nobody out here in the bottom or the top of the third. Inside, Mesnikow dodges it. 1-1. This is Dimitri's first at-bat of the tournament. He's been pitching before this. Popped up into right. Coming in, Johnson grabs it. Man running for third now. Johnson's throw, not going to be in time. Doesn't have the arm for it. So a sac fly will advance the runner to third. Now in scoring position to break this tie just 90 feet away.
coming to the plate will be number 12, Nolan Engel.
Bringing up Nolan Engel. Or no, is that Nolan or Noah? Yeah, Nolan. Strike. Engel has both hit and pitched so far in this tourney. He is 1 for 4 with a run. Grounded over to third. Burris checks on the man. They're going to throw. The man at third does not come home, so they get him at first and able to keep Trujillo at the third base bag. That'll bring up the leadoff man and Max's brother, Toby Trujillo.
Number 3, Toby Trujillo. Please return all foul balls to the tape booth.
Trujillo is 3 for 8, batting pretty well. He also has 5 walks and 2 hit by pitches. All right, he does have just the 2 RBIs on this game, or on this tournament so far. His runs put him in the upper echelon of what this tourney has produced in terms of statistical anomalies. 6 runs pretty high. That's going to be hit into left center. It's going to get to be caught. So floated out there and handled by Kane McLeod, and that'll be the inning. So the man stranded on third. Nobody comes in. The game remains scoreless, 0-0. Larson finishes the third inning of shutout work. So to recap that inning, no hits for Premier West, no runs, no earned runs. There were still no errors in this game on either team, and there is 1 man left on base. That's the closest anybody has gotten is third base. Jace Morgan got there last inning and was stranded when Hadley Burris struck out, and then that's as far as it got. Negebauer got to second last time, but that'll bring up the top of the order for the Expos in the top of the third here. I've wanted to make a best hitters of the tourney graphic this whole tourney and have had trouble doing so. Just because it's hard finding the time to tally all the stats for everyone. Kiefer 0 for 1 with a pair of walks and with a trio of walks, 2 runs. That's hit foul for strike 1. Huddle coming off of an inning where he struck out 3 straight. I guess that streak does continue into this inning. So he struck out the last 3 batters he's faced. He will face the leadoff man, Kiefer. Kiefer drives it softly into center, coming in and jumping to make the grab is the center fielder. What a play. That is going to be Dalton Berg making the out. He's had a pretty good tourney so far. That was a very good play. Didn't have a chance to do too many hanging of stars on defensive plays last game. Or yesterday, I guess. It just didn't feel like there were all that many. That's a good one. It was a very offense-heavy game. Some great pitching, though. Strike 0-1. This is now delivering to Graydon Juve. Juve 0 for 3 with a walk so far this tourney. He does have a run. He scored well on the bases there. That's going to be hit through the gap. So a single there for Juve. His arm brace falls off, and that'll be a single. Put a man on with 1 out. First hit of the tourney for Juve in his second game. That's the 3rd single off of Huddle. He has allowed nothing more than that, though. Up comes Ryan Negebauer. Negebauer was one of the men with a single last time. Throw, he's safe. Negebauer 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs in this tourney so far. Taken high for the first ball. So the pickoff attempt unsuccessful. They have all been so far. That's a strike. No, ball inside. I thought that might have been over. So 2-0. Thank you all if you're tuning in from Colorado. I'm from the Denver area, from Aurora, Colorado. Went to Grandview High School, started their broadcast program from scratch. That's low, gets away, and that'll definitely advance the runner. So it's a 3-0 count now to Negebauer. Juve heads over to second on the wild pitch. That's a strike, top of the zone. Able to deliver able to locate that one as Huddle. Huddle, a super senior from Ralston Valley. Speaking of Huddle, my high school Grandview happened to play Ralston Valley 2 times in the 2022 or 2021 high school season.
The walkers select number 17, Carter Johnson.
So a 5-pitch walk puts men on first and second with 1 out. This is a very similar situation to the second inning. There was an attempted bunt last time. In this situation, taking off for third is going to be the runner. He is safe. The throw beat him, but he got his foot in time on the bag. Just kind of slotted it in there. So another steal successful. Juby takes third. And with him, Negebauer takes his second time of second. So 2 men in scoring position now for a 1-1 count to the cleanup man, Carter Johnson. If Johnson knows one thing, it's RBIs. He's 2 for 4 so far in this tourney. That's a strike. Huddle has struck out 1 man looking so far today. 3 men total, so 1-2 count now to Johnson. A ground out something as simple as a ground out to the right place could break the deadlock these two teams have at 0. So stalemate, 1-2. Taken off of the bag, or off of the plate, 2-2. Okay, so a 2-2 count. Huddle delivers. Johnson, grounder over to third. They'll make sure the man stays. Throw to first in time, and unable to score is going to be Juve. And so Johnson grounds out over to the third baseman, Rousey. He throws over to first. And just like the last inning with the man on third, we come up to 2 outs. The ground out unable to bring in the runner. This is now Jace Morgan. Morgan went 1 for 3 in the game last time. He did get a single earlier today, got all the way over to third. A single would drive in 2 in this situation, as long as it's an outfield single. He delivered the walk-off RBI last night. Or sorry, that was Josh Elder. That's going to be a ball. So bases loaded now on a 4-pitch walk. That brings up Kane McLeod. He got a walk his last time up, and in game 1, he had a sacrifice fly and a single, so he is 1 for 3 so far in the tourney. Now 1 for 4 after the strikeout in the last inning. That's a strike there. Huddle having to get out of trouble. So 0-1 to Huddle. Has popped up. Rousey underneath it. Makes the grab. Bases stranded. Huddle gets through 3 without allowing a run. We enter the top of the 4th. It is still tied 0-0. A lot of chances for both teams. or some chances for both teams. Unable to score any, Huddle has clutched up when it matters most. So to recap that inning for the Expos, they get one hit. They score no runs, no earned runs. There are no errors on the defense. And 3 men are left aboard. That brings their total up to 6 left on base so far in these 3 innings. They're averaging 2 an inning. Huddle's been able to wiggle his way out of trouble a few times now.
Coming to the plate, number 2, Dalton Berg.
So strike one delivered by Larson. Larson pitching a shutout, only allowing 1 man on so far, pitching a masterpiece. Grounded off 0-2. That was a very, very soft throw. Just about got to the plate before, might have even hit the back of the base. It was maybe in the low 60s or high 50s. 0-2. Up and away. 1-2. Larson not necessarily bringing the heat, but he is also on this junior team. He has time to bulk up or whatever have be. That is going to be nubbed. It's going to be fair, and that's a single. So an infield single off the end of the bat. Successful. The first hit allowed on Larson today, and that is Dalton Berg. Leadoff single to start off the inning with a dangerous base runner out there. That is going to be grounded over to short. Negebauer over to second. Throw to first. In time, the double play. How about that? Ryan Negebauer dishes over to Griffin Juve, or Graydon Juve, and Juve throws over to the first baseman, Jace Morgan, to make the 6-4-3 double play. They get out of, despite the hit, they erase the man from the bases. That brings up Nate Hutchison. He's the cleanup man, hasn't gotten a chance to clean in much of anything so far. He is batting 3 for 14 in this tourney. Does have 2 walks, 4 RBIs, 2 hit by pitches, and 3 runs. So 1-1 now. Grounded foul. Alright, so it's 2-2 now for Larson. Allowed his first hit of the game just now. Fouled off. 2-2. Okay, ball 4 is issued. So that'll allow Hutchison to reach base. He has one stolen base on his only attempt trying so far. And up comes Noah Carrillo, the RBI leader for this team. He has 7. And that puts him pretty high on the total runs leaderboard, or total RBIs leaderboard, with some good company like Alex Dietrich, Easy Rojas, and John Gonzalez. The throw to second by Elder is off of the mark, nearly gets into the outfield, so a stolen base successful now for Hutchison. Man in scoring position, never mind what happened. Catcher interference, or runner interference, batter interference called, and that'll be the inning. I've seen that a few times this year. I must not have seen it. It was probably there. Yeah, he fell into the way of the, looking at replay, he fell right into the path of Morgan. Well, you can't account for lefty catchers. You're so used to seeing a righty catcher. Lefty catchers have gone out of vogue. I don't think there's a single one in the majors that is a lefty. Maybe Austin Wynn. But lefty catchers seen a little bit differently compared to other positions. So he fell right into the area with the plate, and because Elder is a lefty back there, it was it was in the way. Compared to other positions, lefty catchers are seen as disadvantageous because the most batters are righty, meaning that you're likely going to be throwing to second away from wherever the batter is on that side. Also, lefty catchers have a harder time throwing to first because there's usually a batter in the way. They would have a better time throwing to third, but I guess that's not too prioritized. It used to be a solid rate of people, but hey, Liam, how you doing? But recently become a little bit less so. So to recap that inning for Premier West, they put up 1 hit. They score no runs. There are no earned runs, no errors, and 1 man is left on base. It remains tied 0-0. And Rapid City, the Expos, just trying to break this tie. This is what they did last game. Got a lot of guys on, weren't able to do much with them until late in the game. Liam, have you been watching all the games? I feel like you've been in quite a few of these. If so, what's been your favorite game so far? That goes to anybody that's been watching these games. You know, Premier West, whatever. Just, what's been your favorite game? I've had quite a few exciting ones. Premier West versus Rocky Mountain was definitely up there. That was a thriller start to finish. So 1-1. To Elder. That's fouled off. Or not Elder, this is Kane McLeod. Right? Am I crazy? Yep, McLeod drives over to third. Throw to first, in time by Rousey, and out number 1 is recorded.
The Elders for plate number 21, Josh Elder.
We have a chant of "Get on base" coming from the young fans out there in the stands. Some of them are starting to go, unfortunately. But maybe they're just going to like a bathroom break or something. I don't know. The "Get on base." You can't hear those kids cry to get on base and not score or not get on base. I mean, Elder, you've got a job here to do. You can't let the kids down. Elder is 2 for 5 in this tourney. He got the walk-off RBI last night in that game, in that upset win over Rocky Mountain. Expos Rocky Mountain was a pretty great one. That was a walk-off, the only walk-off we've had. It droned on for a while, and then in the 7th, they came back. That's going to be blooped into center. Coming in is going to be Berg. He makes the out. So Berg, unfortunately, or Morgan lets down the kid, or Elder lets down the kids a little. McCoy Rippentrop now up. He's looking for his first hit of the tourney. He struck out on a foul bunt his last time. I think Expos Rocky Mountain is a very good one, though there was a lot of stranded runners in that one. It was good, though. The pitcher, Elvis Conti, for Rocky Mountain, was pitching a great game, only allowing the 1 run for 6, and then he got pulled. The reliever came in, and Expos jumped all over him, got that walk-off. That's a strike. Not to underplay what Brennan Sales was able to do. He did a fantastic job last night. Pitching, I believe it was 6 innings of 2-run ball. Sorry, that was a ball, 2-1. So it's a 2-1 with 2 outs here. 3-1 now to Rippentrop. Like I said, Rippentrop did start a game against the Casper Oilers that the Hard Hats won in extras. He allowed, I believe it was 4 runs in 2 innings, and was promptly sent back down to the minors, or to the Expos, which is practically the minors here, as what I guess for a major league would be the AAA of players on the rise in the farm system. So, guy on first, and that'll bring up Burris. Burris 0 for 3 so far in this tourney, but does have a walk. Fouled. Goes away. Premier West game today, or yesterday, that was. So there were 2 Premier West games. They played, or the one that they played yesterday, that was the 15-13 7-inning thriller. That was a great one. 7-0 start, then got it to a 6-7 game, all the way then a 10-6 game. Premier West came back to make it. I believe it was 8-10. Then it was 12-8, and then finally in the 6th, they pulled through and tied it up 12-12, making the 7-0 comeback real. Foul tip. That'll be strike 2. And then finally in the top of the 7th, a 2-run triple that cleared the bases for Rocky Mountain, gave them a lead of 3 runs. Premier West got a double. That's in the dirt, gets through the legs, and the stolen base is successful quite handily there for McCoy Rippentrop. So it's 2-2 in the count now, but then after that, in the bottom of the 7th, some suspense there. A 2-run double, or a RBI double with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, made it a 13-15 game, brought the tying run to the plate. And then a strikeout was issued by the closer for Rocky Mountain. And that was how that game ended. It was a marathon. It was fantastic. Ups, downs, everything. That might be my favorite so far this tourney. That is going to be hit high into left field, underneath it. Falling almost to his knees, and it is caught there by the left fielder, Toby Trujillo. So, nobody scores yet again. Another man stranded. Add up to the scoreboard. Huddle has stranded 4 now in this game. There was no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors. Still no errors in this game, as you notice. It's a very solid defensive game, all in all. Had there been any errors from this Premier West team, I would assume that they would have already allowed a run. But the flawless defense has kept them tight. 1 man was left aboard, making it up to 7 left on base by Huddle so far. Huddle pitching the best game the Premier West has pitched all tourney, I would say. Maybe the Next Level game. That was against Next Level. They still remain the closest team against Next Level. Next Level won 11-0 over Papillion in the first day, then won 9-4 against Premier West, having been tied 4-4 in the fifth. That's the latest anybody's been tied or even that close with Next Level to this point. Then in the fifth of Pueblo, Pueblo led 2-0, was pitching fantastic, and then finally ran out of steam in their second game of the day and lost 10-2. So that 5-run loss by Premier West against Next Level remains the closest for what could become the #1 team in the tournament if they beat Missoula and it's not a shootout. Also, thanks for scoring all those runs. That's going to be skied into center. Playing a right shift is the center fielder. It'll land. They throw into second. They're going to not get him. It gets away. And a double. A double is recorded. There was a shift put into effect there on Premier West's Brennan Gunter that allowed that ball to drop into where it would normally be a routine center field flyout. Instead, it is a double thanks to the shift. So leadoff double by Gunter. That's a great start. He did a great job against the Hard Hats. He's doing good against the Expos now. That'll bring up Max Trujillo. Trujillo was the first man to reach base at all for the Premier West team here. They had a walk. He had a walk and got all the way to third thanks to a stolen base and a sac bunt last time. So Larson throwing a fantastic game in this 0-0 stalemate. That's a bunt put down. It's gonna roll foul. It took a while, but good eyes from Burris. The man will have to go back to second, and we will continue the at-bat. A bunt put down, a little bit foul there by Trujillo. That's a good point. 9 pitchers to the tournament is a lot. I don't know if nobody's beating them. I saw Pueblo pitched 4 shutout and was on top 2-0, capitalizing on some errors by Next Level. Some bunt defense being played. That's inside 1-on. But I don't know about nobody beating Next Level. I would consider them the favorites. But we'll see. The end of the night, Next Level will play against the Hard Hats in the final game of the pool play. That's put down strong, handled well. Throw to third. They will not get the base runner. He gets in there in time, so the bunt successful, and a fielder's choice will allow that to work out for Max Trujillo. Still nobody out. Men on the corners here. Larson in a bit of trouble. Next Level did bring an absurd amount of players to this tournament, taken for a ball, and Trujillo takes second for the second time today, second stolen base. So now 2 men in scoring position, still no outs in the game, or in this inning. It's looking like a golden opportunity for Premier West here to get a lead. That's a strike from Larson on the edge of the plate. Now up to bat is Dmitry Mesnikow. He had a sac fly that brought Trujillo over to third last time. That's a strike right down the middle. Hard Hats are going to be throwing Negebauer tonight. He's a co-ace with Palmer Jacobs on this Hard Hats team. He, of course, went 7 innings against 6 innings of 1-run ball against the great Cheyenne Post 6 team in Cheyenne earlier this year in a 1-0 pitcher's duel against Bradley Fieser, who's going to Nebraska. Lee Negebauer will be thrown tonight. Hard Hats are 4-0 off of the plate, full count. So if anybody's going to do it, it would be the Hard Hats. Pueblo Azteca had their chance, but they, I think, were severely hurt by having to play a second game in that day. That's fouled off. But in that yesterday. They were coming off of a 2.5 hour 8-7 victory or 7-6 victory, or no 8-7 victory over Papillion, which was a hard game they all had to play their best for. That's grounded over to the shortstop. He throws home. They will tag the runner, and the lead man is out. Man will be on first and third. The first out recorded of the inning. Good IQ there. Good IQ play from Burris, throwing there to Eldon. So now runners in the corners. Mesnikow on first. Got to watch out for him to steal bases. Elder has not caught anybody so far today. And he will go. Coming home is going to be the runner, Trujillo. He's safe. He gets around the tag, and the tie is broken. Premier West breaks it on a stolen base. 2 stolen bases, as the stolen base from Trujillo, he takes home. Mesnikow, the diversion. And the tag a little bit off. Able to be dodged there. The throw slightly to the left, allowing Elder not to be on the bases. That's hit up the line. It's gonna not wait. Does it drop? It does drop, but the tag is applied at third. They will get an out. Well handled there by the left fielder for the Hard Hats. That is, or for the Expos, Kane McLeod. He traps it underneath his glove. Nope, that is a strike. Did they say he caught it? Is that now? Out. Man at third got out. And the double play. Okay. That was a close one. I wasn't sure if McLeod caught it. He might have trapped it underneath his glove against the grass. But nonetheless, it is ruled a fly out for Engel. And then caught going for third on the tag is Dmitry Mesnikow. So a double play. In that inning, Premier West gets 1 hit. They score 1 run. That run is earned to the pitcher Larson. There is no errors, and nobody is left on base. That'll make it a 1-0 ball game for Premier West. They have a lead now entering the bottom of the 5th. The stalemate is broken, and that is done so by Max Trujillo. Kids having a great time out here yelling the YMCA. It might be a YMCA group here today. See some counselors having a great time. And a little bit more cloud cover now in the area. Slightly gray clouds overhead. I don't know what the tour is. Apparently there's a 2% chance of a tornado in Rapid City. So, you know, I mean, I'm taking those odds. But over western South Dakota, there's going to be a low pressure system making contact with some cold air from up north. And it could cause something. Unlikely, though, 2%. That's about the odds of the Jets winning the Super Bowl, I would say. That might be generous. But I would hedge my bets on, or I would be happy to take the bet of the Jets not winning the Super Bowl this year. So I feel pretty good that there's not going to be a tornado, but that is in the forecast. So if you're worried about that, keep monitoring the situation. That probability was placed out by a little bit of a algorithm that has been uses data from previous sites and ones that did or didn't produce tornadoes in similar situations, and says that 2% of them have. That's going to be skied into center, and underneath it, Berg makes the grab, out number 1. So, huddle. Pitching great. He's into his 5th inning of work. He gets Lars Kiefer. Up comes Juve. He has a single so far today. He's 1 for 2. He grounded into a double play earlier though. He was stranded on third, as was another runner, Jace Morgan, both of which Huddle was able to strand and has allowed for this lead for Premier West. Huddle pitching the best game I've seen from Premier West, except for maybe that next level team. So Juve, he leads the team in batting average with a .439 batting average. That's going to be blooped, not into the outfield. It is caught there. Good play by the second baseman, Max Trujillo. And that'll bring up Ryan Negebauer. Negebauer's reached base both times he's been here. He's actually reached second base both times he's been here with a pair of steals after getting on. He had a single and a walk. Both of them would be equally helpful in this situation with 2 outs. Taken for a ball, 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1. The job done against Premier West was Tony DiRienzo. He went 2 2/3, only allowing 4 runs, and AJ Mata came in to relieve him. He pitched 1 1/3 with 1 earned run and a K. He earned the loss, but it was not too bad. Mesnikow allowed those 5 runs at the end. So a full count now here to Negebauer. Taken high. Negebauer, a name you'll hear again today. His older brother Lee, an ace for the Hard Hats, is going to throw against Next Level later today. He is one of, if not the best starting pitcher for the Hard Hats. He's a junior, also playing quarterback at St. Thomas More High School. That is hit into right, going back for it, and caught. A little bit of trouble tracking it, but gets it just fine. Is going to be Nolan Carrillo, and that'll be the 3rd out. So through 5 innings, Dylan Huddle able to keep a shutout going. He's done a great job so far. Expos trying to keep this thing tight. Coming back out for his 6th inning of work is Ryan Larson. He's just allowed the 1 run so far. Done a great job all in all. But entering the top of the 6th, we are looking at a 1-0 game for Premier West. They're on the verge of their first victory, hopefully playing themselves into the 5 versus 6 game. They are currently sitting in the last place slot. Papillion La Vista is 0-4, but it should be noted Papillion La Vista lost by 1 run to Pueblo yesterday, and then lost to the Hard Hats by 1 run. They've lost a pair of games to 2 of the top 3 teams at the tournament, and every game that they have played has been against one of the top 3 teams. They lost 2 to Pueblo, 1 to the Hard Hats, and 1 to Next Level. They have had by far the hardest schedule so far hardest schedule of any team in this tournament. So they're overdue for a win, I would say, and that would be they get their game against Rocky Mountain, who is 2-2 at the moment, and will have played Pueblo before that for a chance at their first win. I honestly, as an upset pick, I would think that Papillion's going to win that one over Rocky Mountain. The Lobos are strong, but I think Papillion is overdue for something. That's a little bit outside 1-0. Pueblo is such a treat to watch every day. That's a strike. Larson delivers one right down central. Steps off the mound. Expos effectively a home team here. This is where they play. It's chopped over to third. Burris gets it. Throw to first is high, and he will have to go off of the bag to make the play. Morgan not able to record the out. That is the first error of the game coming on Hadley Burris. So that'll put a man on first. There is not an out. I got premature there on the scoreboard. And that'll bring up Dalton Berg. Berg, 7 runs and 6 RBIs. He's having a great tournament. Going for second is Trujillo. He will be safe by a bit. That is Elder. Elder still not able to catch a man on the base paths. That brings Premier West up to, how many is that? If you count the steal at home, that's going to be hit into center. Going after it, caught by Kiefer. He's going to throw to third. Great throw, and the man will stay. So out number 1 recorded on a fly out to Kiefer in center. Out comes Mateo Rousey. Rousey 0 for 3, or 0 for 2 in this game, but 5 for 12 overall. He has 4 RBIs, 2 runs, and 2 walks, as well as getting hit twice, but you can't really control that. Larson has not hit anybody so far in this game. That's a strike right down the middle. So 0-1. That's going to be lined into left. That's going to get through. So now coming around, Trujillo. The cutoff man gets it, and he will stay on third. A single will bring runner on the corners with 1 out. Expos manager going to have to start thinking about Larson. Just not because he's doing bad, but because of how close a game this is. There's men on the corners with 1 out in this inning, thanks to a single from Mateo Rousey. And that'll bring up the cleanup man, Nate Hutchison. That error on the third baseman Burris, starting out this inning on a bad note. That's a high ball, just a little. So 1-0 to Nate Hutchison. Hutchison 3 for 13, only 4 RBIs from the cleanup position. Given that this team has scored upwards of 25 runs, you would have to think that there should be a few more. Going for second, and he learned his lesson. Not going to throw to second. The diversion not successful this time, but gets 2 men into scoring position. Stolen base, Mateo Rousey. That is stolen base number, how many did I say? 8. Stolen base number 8 of the day on Josh Elder. Taken off of the plate, so a ball that'll load the bases. 1 out here, bases loaded, 1-run game. Premier West with a chance to break this one wide open. Hutchison takes base, and now Noah Carrillo's up. He is the RBI leader on this team. He is one of the best. I believe he's second in the tournament in RBIs with a total of 7 across the 4 games Premier West has played. He is the guy you want up. That's a strike right down the middle. Oh, 1. Popped up into foul territory and playable. Underneath it is Burris. Burris makes the grab. So out number 2, Carrillo is retired. Big out there for Larson. So that's out number 2. Bringing up Brennan Gunter. Gunter got a double and was caught and was out on a fielder's choice at home last inning. He got that double on a blooper to right where there's a shift. The shift is in effect here now again. A playing right, expecting a little bit of a left pull. That's a ball, 1 out. The center fielder playing significantly more right. The right fielder guarding the edge. It seems like the scouts here have diagnosed a pull hitter. Strike on the edge of the zone. That was maybe a little bit generous. Hit, I thought, a little bit high. So it's 1-1 now. That's going to be skied foul. And it's 1-2. Larson not had a K since the first inning. A K would do a lot here, though. It would be the second time that a man has struck somebody out with bases loaded to end the inning. Huddle did that back in the third. In the dirt, handled well by Elder. And 2-2. If that had gotten away, it almost certainly would have scored Trujillo from third. You see Pueblo Azteca warming up. They will be playing against that's Rocky Mountain in the corner warming up. They're wearing maroon. The Azteca are likely here as well. 2-2. Larson. A little bit off. Just a wee bit outside. And full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 1-run game. Now facing Larson is Brennan Gunter. The payoff pitch. It's going to be lined into center and caught! Kiefer gets it. The shift works this time. He plays right. He's able to get the liner, and the runners are retired. Nobody comes in to score. Larson does the Houdini act, and we go into the bottom of the 6th. Expos are trailing 1-0 with a chance here to take the lead or tie. That was a monumental play there by Kiefer and Larson. To recap that inning for Premier West, they got 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs. There was 1 error on the third baseman, Burris, to start out the inning, and there were 3 men left aboard. Those are the 4th and 5th men left, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th left aboard by Premier West. Far less than the Expos, who have allowed 8 to be left on the base paths. Expos had plenty of chances, just not ever scoring on them, and Huddle's doing a great job out there. There's a storm coming, it looks like it. We haven't had any trouble at all. We had probably the most gorgeous day of the year on Saturday. Here at there was not a cloud in the sky. It was a brisk 82 with some wind. It was ideal. This is the great conditions for Pueblo, though, because their leadoff man, Mike Casillas, always wears a hoodie underneath his jersey. He played like 6 hours of baseball in a row out there, playing the shortstop position and center field for Pueblo yesterday. Also running the bases quite a bit. He leads the team and he leads the tournament in stolen bases, and so that is something to be said for the pitcher, or for the leadoff man, Mike Casillas, for Pueblo, as now he looks at he's looking at a far cooler day. So 0-1, no outs here in the the bottom of the 6th. Leading off will be Jace Morgan. Morgan has reached base both times on a single and a walk. They're both equally helpful in this situation. 1-1. Coming out for his 6th inning of work is going to be Dylan Huddle. He's done a marvelous job so far. He's had a lot of bend, don't break. That's high, 2-1. I like the ump. He tells me why he calls a ball every time he does. So the 2-1. That's a strike. Good pitch. Hits the edge of the zone on the outer part of the plate. So 2-2 now. Huddle hasn't gotten a strikeout since he got 3 in a row back in the 2nd. Swing and a miss on one low in the dirt. That'll be out number 1. So Morgan goes down swinging. Huddle gets his first out, and that'll bring Yeah, and then I bring up Kane McLeod. That is the fourth strikeout of the game for the pitcher Huddle. It's grounded right back to him. Throw to first in time and on target. So out number 2, making quick work of the Expos here is Dylan Huddle in the 6th. The catcher Elder now up. He is 0 for 2, 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout and a flyout. He was 2 for 4 in the other game and had the walk-off RBI single to end it against Rocky Mountain. Taken a little bit high. I don't know. That looked letters to me. So 1-0. He has Tecca wearing a bright yellow jersey with blue numbers, reminiscent of the Colombian national team. I kind of like it. Up and outside, so 2-1. That's a strike. And Huddle now a strike away from 6 shutout innings. I don't think he's going to run out of pitches either. I bet he goes complete game. Grounded over to first, handled. It'll step on the bag himself, and the out will be recorded. So 1-2-3, Huddle gets the Expos out, and in the top of the 7th, Premier West trying to add some insurance runs, trying not to allow a walk-off here for the second time to the Expos. We will see. But Huddle goes 6 scoreless, not without a little bit of turmoil, but he has recovered. That was his first 1-2-3 inning of the tournament. And so he has he allowed no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors, nobody left on base. And it remains a 1-0 game. Expos keep on failing to capitalize on anything. They only have 3 more outs to go, but they did wait until the end and then finally get hits and score in the bottom of the 7th for that 4-run comeback walk-off win in the the bottom of the 7th yesterday against Rocky Mountain. Max Trujillo, 1-0. He's reached base both times, one on a fielder's choice and one on a walk so far today. He came around to score back in the 5th. He represents the only run of this game, and he will be leading it off. The kind of guy you need. That's grounded softly over to Burris. He's not in much of a hurry. He throws to first. He does get the out. It felt like he was taking it a little bit slow there, but he does so. So the first out is recorded. The cloud's starting to get all gloomy and dark, but this game goes on. Dmitry Mesnikow now up. He had a single and was caught stealing at third to end the 5th inning. Taken high. He was instrumental in scoring the only run of the game so far. That's grounded over to Negebauer. He handles it cleanly. Throw to first, high, and he steps on the bag anyways. So a little bit of a hop, never hurt anybody, and that'll be out number 2. Larson pitching his 7th inning. He's only allowed the 1 run. It was unearned. Oh, no, it was earned. It was an earned run. That is going to be nubbed off the end of the bat. Over to Larson, underhand, and 1-2-3. Premier keeps it a one-run game. Expos looking for their second walk-off of the tourney now, trailing 1-0. Premier looking for their first win, trying to shut things out. I bet Dylan Huddle will come back in. So no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors, nobody left on base in the bottom of the top of the seventh. And we go into the bottom of the seventh. Expos are trailing 1-0 with a chance to walk things off or force extras. And Premier West holding their first lead going into the seventh of this tournament. Dylan Huddle, he's pitched a masterpiece so far. 6 innings, no runs allowed with 4 strikeouts. He's going for the complete game shutout now. So a storm is forming, but nothing that's getting in the way of the end of this game. I still see some hawks high in the sky, which tells me the jet stream not overly moving. They are enjoying the wind, but this, whatever this is not in a hurry to get out of here. There should be rain delays. Well, okay, we've played through the rain before. It's a full turf field except for the warning track. So you can play through rain. That's lined. It'll get through. So a leadoff single. That's a big one. He's told to stay at 1. So a leadoff single for the Expos. The tying run now aboard. That's a big hit for McCoy Rippentrop. Will they pinch run for him? They will. So a pinch runner going to come on out. A DH, Rippentrop going to leave. And if I were to guess, this would be Dawson Inhofer. Is it Dawson Inhofer? I don't have a 35. They're going to talk with Huddle. Huddle's pitched a masterpiece so far. It'd be a mistake to leave him or to remove him. That's what happened with Rocky Mountain. They removed the guy who had pitched 6 innings of 1-run ball, Elvis Conti, and then the reliever came in and allowed 4 runs in the walk-off. Huddle's going to stay back out there. Good decision.
Coming in around, number 35, starting stop. And at the point will be number 14, Harry Morris.
I'm going to see. I think I heard a Morris. A throwback. He's safe. So the Expos looking to go 2-0 in pool play. Premier West looking for their first win, trying to get to that 6-7 game. Or 5-6 game. Throwback. Not a play to be made. A stolen base would put the tying run in scoring position. That's a strike. Morris seemingly a call-up from the Bullets, perhaps. That's going to be bunted foul. And 0-2 now. This is a big at-bat. Burris needing to at least advance the runner. Oh, this is Riley Scott on the bases. They check in on Scott. He's fine, but he's glad you asked. So 0-2. That's skied into shallow right. Second baseman calls for it. Trujillo records the out. So out number one. The Expos down to 2 outs left. They've still got Scott on the base paths, and the top of the order is coming up. They're going to talk about how they want to pitch to Lars Kiefer here. They're going to pull huddle. Uh-oh. Huh. It must be a pitch count situation. I don't see any other reason you would pull huddle. He has pitched 6 1/3 scoreless, and you need to finish out this game. So moving into left field or one of the outfield positions is number 24 for this Premier West team. That is Kenji Bray. Kenji Bray heads into the outfield. They will sacrifice the DH, so Nate Hutchison not going to be DHing anymore.
Taking the mound for Premier West will be number 2, Dalton Berg.
Dalton Berg going to take over, try to close out this game. Kenji Bray goes into the outfield. Coming in from the outfield is Berg, and I believe that'll move Toby Trujillo to center. One man on, the tying run on the base paths. Some serious wind coming in from left field. We're talking 11-12 miles per hour. That could be impactful. So Dalton Berg being okay. We got a man on first, and the leadoff man, Lars Kiefer, going to come in to bat. Premier West trying to hold on to this 1-run lead and finish off a shutout here. Expos trying to walk off for the second time in 2 days. 1-0 count to Kiefer. Takes one off. It's 2-0. Last thing you want to do is put Kiefer on the bases. He has over 30 stolen bases and would represent the winning run. So Berg 2-0 now to Kiefer. That's a strike at the hips. So 2-1. Wind getting even faster, maybe 18, 19 miles per hour, and a little bit of rain beginning to fall. Does not matter, we play on. Up and away. That could have some sort of bearing on the Pueblo game after us. (3-1). Taken, strike on the edge of the plate. Good pitch there. Kiefer thought he was going to get out of it, but that pitch found its way back in. Okay, full count now to Kiefer. Berg delivers. He hits that one into right. It'll get down. So a single. Scott going to stay at second. The go-ahead run now reaches base for the Expos on a single from Lars Kiefer. So a pair of singles now against the two pitchers. A tying run is now on the bases, and up comes Graydon Juvie. He nubs one over to the pitcher, handled by Berg. He throws to first. That is an out. The rain's starting to seriously pick up. It is now, I would argue, pouring, but that does not matter. We are finishing out this game. This might have some bearing on the Pueblo game versus Rocky Mountain after us, but at the moment, there is one more out. The storm is swirling. The players are on second and third. Tying run is on third. The go-ahead run on second. Up to bat, Ryan Negebauer. Negebauer has not failed to reach base. He is 1 for 1 in this game with a pair of walks. There are 2 outs. One more out here for the Expos. They have 2 runs on the bases paths. This is a big moment here. Premier West looking for their first win. That's low and it gets away. He doesn't know where it is still. Still doesn't know. It's sitting, hiding on the white paint of the hard hat logo over there. Berg knew where it was, directed his catcher to where it was. It is starting to severely rain. The ground beginning to become gray on the concrete floors here of the concourse. It is 1-1. Berg needs one more out. That's a strike. 1-2. Down to their final strike. They're going to have a pitching visit. Berg's going to have a moment, talk over what he plans to do against Ryan Negebauer. Negebauer, the chance to be the hero here, break the shutout and get the win on maybe even a single. He has a very fast Lars Kiefer over on second, and an out here would end it. Premier West looking for their first win. 1-2 count. Grounded over to the shortstop, running it out. Negebauer running to first. He's safe. The tying run comes across. It's a legged out infield single for Ryan Negebauer, and the game is tied 1-1. The go-ahead run sits on third. Big time infield single. Ryan Negebauer uses his speed and on a chopper over to short, able to outrun the throw, and that'll bring up the cleanup man, Carter Johnson. So the shutout is broken. Carter Johnson, a chance to walk off the game for the Expos. It is still pouring cats and dogs out here. Intentional walk to Johnson. They will go up to the first baseman, Jace Morgan. So the base is now loaded with 2 outs. Force out at every base. And Jace Morgan up to bat. He had a single back in the second. He had a sac fly that tied the game last time. Morgan being asked here to be the hero. On a rainy day in Rapid City. That's a strike. Premier West trying to force extras. They still looking for their first win. Good afternoon, Igor. We are in the midst of a big game here. 1-1. Low gets through the legs. Coming in to score is going to be the runner Kiefer, and it's a walk-off. Walk-off wild pitch. Expos do it again. 2 games in 2 days. They walk it off. They're going to win 2-1. How about that? After being shut out for 6 1/3 by the pitcher, Dylan Huddle, the reliever comes in. Berg allows 2 runs to come across, and Premier West will end pool play 0-5. They will go into that 0-7 slot, and the Expos keep on winning. They're able to do it on a walk-off. Second walk-off of the tournament for anybody, and it's the second one for them. All right, so that is going to be the game. A wild pitch from Berg, possibly influenced by the wind and rain. And we will wait. We will have probably a little bit of a delay on our next game, the Pueblo versus Rocky Mountain game. To recap, So to recap that game, or just the bottom of the 7th, the Expos 3 hits, 2 runs come across. Both of them are earned. There are no errors, and there is 1 man, or there are 2 men. Well, it doesn't matter. It's NA for the left on base because it was a walk-off to make it a 2-1. They wait, and they pounce. Once the starter leaves the game, they hop on top of the reliever yet again. And that infield single from Ryan Negebauer brought in the tying run, and a wild pitch from Berg brought in the walk-off run from Lars Kiefer. So totals for the game. There's a little bit of thunder there. Yeah, we're probably going to have a little bit of a delay going into Game 2, which is going to be Pueblo Rocky Mountain. So keep that in mind. So to recap the game, the Expos get 6 hits. They score 2 runs. The pitcher is Ryan Larson. He pitched 7 innings of 1-run ball. He will earn the win. So 7 innings of 1 earned run with, I want to say, 2 strikeouts. Just the 1. So 1 strikeout there for Ryan Larson. And that means that Dylan Huddle, because he let on McCoy Rippentrop at the start of the inning, despite such a good game. Oh no, he doesn't earn the loss. The second runner came aboard thanks to a single from Lars Kiefer off of the reliever Dalton Berg. Dalton Berg will be saddled with a loss. He records 1 run. We get some kids in the way. That's fun. They're having a good time at the park. So one out recorded. So, yeah, there we go. So 1 out recorded there in the top of the 7th, or the bottom of the 7th for Dalton Berg. He goes 1 inning pitched. Nice. And so Berg, 0.1 innings pitched, 1/3 of an inning pitched. He earns 1 run. He will be saddled with a loss, and he strikes out none. Dylan Huddle has a great performance. He goes 6 1/3. There we go. He goes 6 1/3 with 1 earned run, thanks to McCoy Rippentrop's pinch runner coming around. That is Riley Scott, and then he throws 4 strikeouts, and that'll be it. So it's starting to slow down on the rain here. Maybe they will get to play after all. Pueblo's coming out to warm up. So that'll be it for this game. The Expos walk off Premier West in the bottom of the 7th, just like they did Rocky Mountain. They are 2-0 in this tournament. They will play the 7th place team tomorrow, possibly in a rematch against Premier West if Papillion is unable to beat Rocky Mountain later today. Then there might be a Rocky Mountain, or there might be a Papillion versus the Expos game tomorrow. But nonetheless, big win there. I'm Oliver Fell. This was a great game, and the final score here: Post 22 Expos 2, and Premier West 1. I'll see you in just a minute with that Pueblo versus Rocky Mountain game.